Okay, jabronis, you want to start a business. You don't know how. You're looking for pros who've done it and already made some money in it, guy like me, to tell you what to do. Makes a lot of sense. I did that too before I started. You're considering, should you get business coaching? Maybe that's how you came across my channel. And so I'm going to give you some real life business coaching. I will never sell a course. I make money selling plumbing. I will never sell you anything on YouTube. It's not my bag, baby. I don't want to sell YouTube. I can go sell cars. There's all types of stuff I can sell to make money. I don't want to sell this. This is just a good time for me. Okay? So, but what you need to do to get going in a business is first and foremost is state regs. Every state is different, okay? Every state is different. State regs, as in state regulations, right? In Texas, to own an HVAC company, you need a certain license and certain stuff to do, plumbing or welding or whatever. You need certain licensing to own that business. And there may be a lot of requirements. Like for me, I had to have a 4-year apprenticeship, then I had to have my journeyman for 4 years, then I had to take a master license test, then I had to have a responsible master plumber endorsement, and I had to have a CO certificate of insurance. In order to get the certificate of insurance, I had to have an LLC, which brings us to the second point. You need an LLC. That's not going to be an LLC at minimum, okay? You can be like, well, I want to be a sole proprietor. Cool, be a sole proprietor as an LLC. Say, hey, me and my buddy want to start up. We want to have like a fucking partnership. Okay, cool, do a partnership with an LLC. Just right out the gate. It's cheap, it's easy, it separates you. Then once you have an LLC, bank account, business bank account, okay? Whoa. What the hell? Why'd I put L? Business bank account, okay? And once you have that business bank account, use that, get cards for that, use that for your cell phone, blah, blah, blah. And if you're real smart and you want to play the whole credit game, it's a really good idea if you're disciplined and good with money, which I am. I should have done it, but I've always just been a cash guy. But it's cool to get like business credit cards and use that to pay everything and get interest and get your credit up there, have more money available. Whenever interest rates are low, you can use that to grow real fast, right? If interest rates are low, buy and grow. Right? If they're high, kind of sit tight and pay cash if you can, But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So get your bank account. Once you have your state regulations, you're eligible to own this business. You're not just some fucking guy, right? You're qualified. You've got your LLC. You've got your bank account set up, okay? From there, you ought to already be an expert, right? If you want to start up a plumbing company, I hope you have been plumbing for a long time. Right? I hope you already know how to do plumbing, right? If you want to start up a welding company, I hope you're already doing welding for a long time, right? And so before you start, make sure you're the fucking best, okay? Because here's the reason I'll never sell a course. This is why I'm telling you all this for free, because if I was to actually sit down and take the time and say, okay, this is the real steps that I think if you do this, you will make money, it still won't fucking work for like 80% of people, right? Because A, you're not gonna try hard enough, you're too lazy, you're too selfish, you're too greedy, you're just not smart enough. There's a million reasons, right? And so I don't want to convince you to give me your money whenever it's hit or miss if I'm actually gonna fucking do this for you, right? That's why like my business is so successful, because I guarantee you if you hire me for plumbing, I'm gonna give you results. I guarantee it, right? And I'm good at it, right? So the next part is deliver. Okay, deliver. Okay, and that's at the very beginning, even before, like if you don't have your pricing worked out, you're a one-man show, okay, whatever, no matter what, if you ain't doing fucking good, no one's gonna call you back. I don't give a fuck if it was free, right? If you're not delivering on what you're saying you're gonna do, no one's gonna call you back, right? No one's gonna call you back. Next thing is time management, okay? Time management. Okay, so that means answering the phone. I'm busy, I'm doing all types of shit, but I'm still, hey, what's going on, man? Oh, you got a call from me? Cool, I'm happy to go do that. You're picking up that fucking phone. You got time for everybody. That's what time management is. Can you read all those words? All those letters are there, I think. Yeah. So you got time for everybody. You want to be the man. You started the company. You want to be the big dog. You got to make time for everybody, okay? Because it's like, you ever seen a fucker that has like 12 kids and you're like, God damn, how are you daddy to 12 kids? Well, you ain't nobody's daddy at work, but if you got 12 people under you, that's a lot to take care of. And you want to be the fucking man. So you got to have time management. You got to have time for everybody. I mean, within reason. Obviously, you got to have time for yourself, boys. People always act like believe in vacations or taking time off. I'm fucking all about time off too. You know, you gotta enjoy it. Life's for living, boys, but we gotta fucking provide first and foremost. So time management. And so if you're fucking set up right, you've got your fucking LLC, you've got your business bank account. The reason this is so important, you need to keep your personal funds and that business stuff separate. Now, a lot of stuff, a lot of perks can be provided through the business, but your main thing is the same reason you have this LLC. You want to keep those funds separated. Should you ever get sued, you don't want your house to be tied up, right? So if it's all just one account and you're using, if you're, you know, taking the wife out to the movies and with the same card you're buying your material with, that can fuck you in a court situation, in like a lawsuit situation. So you need that bank account, like a business bank account, to pair with your LLC to like make sure you're good. Keep those funds separate and pay yourself. Put yourself on, like, hire a payroll company. It's so cheap. I think I pay like, it's probably more expensive for me because I got a bunch of guys, but it's not that expensive to have a payroll company and give yourself a modest salary, if nothing else. Okay, because I'm not going to talk about taxes, but give yourself a modest salary, and whenever you're starting out, reinvest everything into the company, and you won't pay fuck for taxes. You technically you didn't make a lot of profit, right? But you're gonna have lots of perks the company pays for. You're gonna have a lot of assets, right? Because remember, I've talked about this in the past. In order to grow, you have to sacrifice profit in order to increase revenue. So if you want to double revenue, you're gonna have profit, because the other profit is gonna go, like my new van out there in the yard. I'm about to buy another one, shit like that. That's where it goes. But so deliver, time management, bank, everything's separate, right? And then the final true thing, the last thing that matters, and there's a little bit more thing, but is the COGS. Let's really start finding out our cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold is everything that all the direct labor and integral equipment or material for that project, right? If you're a tree guy, that chipper, the payment for that chipper kind of goes into the cost of goods sold, right? If your secretary does not, she's non-direct labor, right? Or if you've got a manager who's managing everything in the office, that's non-direct labor. He's got to get paid out of gross profit margin. So we need to figure out how to get our true cost of goods sold. And if you can get that true cost of goods sold, and depending on the industry, right? If you're like a retail person, it's gonna be different. Depending on what you're selling, you know, for like my industries, home service industries, you want that gross profit to be at least 40% to, you know, really on small stuff, at least 30% on the bigger stuff at a minimum. And if you got that if every job you're doing, 70% of the money goes to cost of goods sold, 30% is going into 30 to 40% is going into gross margin, and that's what's paying your rent, your secretary, your phone bills, your insurance, other stuff like that. You can grow infinitely. Okay? So for deliver, you need to know how to do that before you want to start a company. You need to be the best guy wherever you work. If you ain't the best guy wherever you work, there's no point in doing this. Because guess what? If you're the best guy at your job right now and you start up a company in that same industry, you're going to be one of the best companies around in that industry. I promise you. As long as you're not greedy and selfish. As long as you're willing to fucking pay motherfuckers what they're worth, treat them the way you would want to be treated when you were a badass employee, and you'll find a Dustin, you'll find a Luis, you'll find a Randall, you'll find a Jeremy, you'll find these fucking soldiers. You'll get a Costa. You might get lucky, get a Costa, and get these soldiers like what I got that we could build the pyramids, right? But you can't be selfish and greedy, and you need to know how to deliver. Be the best guy at your company right now, or don't waste anybody's fucking time. Why are you starting a business if you're not the best at this? Don't start a business. Go be the fucking best. Pussy. Time management. Answer your phone. Be there for everybody. You don't know. I made a video recently about a guy that I'll probably do close to $1 million in revenue with this year that I thought was a pissant. Still made time for him. Time management. True cost of goods sold. Learn the margin you need to make on that, and this shit won't fail. So you can, you know, for all these different things, there's people you can watch for your state to tell you how to deal with the regulations for your industry on YouTube for free. Watch 15 different videos. There's 1,000 million videos on LLCs on YouTube. Watch them all, dude. You don't need to. It's fucking LLC. It's simple. I did LegalZoom. Okay, it's easy. Bank account. If you need YouTube for that, don't start a business. Deliver, we talked about that. Time management, we talked about that. Cost of goods sold, we talked about that. This has lots of things. I usually do 3s. But that is real business coaching, you know. And take time to go and look into the specific stuff of your industry, you know, like the marketing and other things like that. But if you're good at this stuff, if you're really, really good at what you're doing, if you can deliver and you can manage your time well, and you can truly find the cost of goods sold, because a lot of assholes can't. Like, or at least they can after the fact, but not before they sell it. You need to be able to predict it. You need to be able to know what the cost of goods. You need to be able to know how much this project's going to cost you. You need to be able to know that. And if you can know that, that's you know, from there it's just fine tuning. It's just fine tuning, right? Everything else, it's fine tuning. But this really is a roadmap for almost any industry. So free business coaching, and I'll never sell shit to you boys besides fuck off.